Hey everyone, welcome to our 50-second market research. And today with Steph, we will be covering two topics. It will be market overview from Steph, and from me, it will be basic system overview. And looking forward to hearing your questions. Feel free to leave them in the chats, and I will give the floor to Steph. Steph, feel free to start your presentation.
Hey everyone, just to confirm if I'm heard clearly. Is it all good, Slava?
I think it's all right. Yeah.
All right, let's start. So, to begin our market overview, just wanted to reach out to you guys. How are your portfolios after this past weeks of correction? I hope it's still intact and you guys are ready to jump on the next opportunity that the market would give us. And to begin this week's market research, let's have an overview of what happened the past few days in the crypto markets by beginning with a short review of the macro perspective, which greatly affects liquidity and sentiment in the crypto markets. So yesterday, the U.S. Federal Reserve retained interest rates at 5.25 to 5.5%. This was the expected move from the Fed, though it comes after the worries of stagflation, where inflation remains to be sticky, and recent data showing a slight increase in unemployment and signs of a slowing growth in the U.S. economy. Although during the press conference, Fed Chairman Powell downplayed these worries about stagflation, and he said that the next move of the Fed is unlikely to be a hike. So, despite the dovish remarks of the Fed chair, market is now pricing in a 19% chance here. So, the market is now pricing in a 19% chance of no rate cuts for the year that was originally at 0% at the start of the year. Moving on to Bitcoin. So, the month of May started with Bitcoin falling below its support of 60K. Community was quick to find some answers why the price is going down. And one thing we can check is the performance of the BTC ETFs. That was the catalyst of the rally in Q1. And by checking this BTC ETF dashboard from Dune, we can see that on the last 9 days there was a significant outflow from the ETFs amounting to 1 billion worth of BTC. And the Bitcoin ETF issuer that had the most outflows was Grayscale, that saw an outflow of 1.5 thousand Bitcoin, which amounts to 8 billion for the whole month of April. Moving on to the crypto total market cap, it is currently below the 2.2 trillion support. So by using technical analysis, we should see a bounce from here, and hopefully we could end the week above its immediate support, or we might be able to see further downside. For total 2, it has the same case as it is also below the 1 billion market cap that acted as support for the past six weeks. Now, moving on to our top gainers. For the week, we are now seeing Wormhole moving towards the upside after several weeks of correction following the airdrop. So, winners for the week also include Golem, Optimism, Zeta, and Tron. For the large caps, most are down for the week, with your outliers being Tron, Atom, and Kronos. While for the mid cap, we can see a clear outlier in Monero and Optimism. So Optimism's price increase can be attributed to the 90 million private purchase of OP tokens by the venture capital firm A16Z. For the past losers, the biggest one is Pendle, which also had drop in its TVL following the announcement of the Eigen token. Moving on to the chain performance, chains are mostly in the red, with the remaining greens in TVL from Base, Merlin Chain, Blast, Hyperliquid, and Torchain. And for DeFi, the DeFi TVL has lost the 90 billion TVL and has now gone to 88 billion. And for your top DeFi protocols, it's still Lido that leads by 27 billion in the TVL. And what we need to note here are the protocols that lost significant TVL from the correction. So an example would be PancakeSwap that lost 43% for the week. Just Land by 11%. Where's Just Land here? And then Pendle with 9.25%. For your stablecoin yields, returns have now gone significantly lower compared to the previous months where we would see 20+% from stables. Right now, most yields are on the single digit yields or on the lower two-digit yields. For the upcoming token unlocks, token holders of move-based blockchains, Sui and Aptos, should pay attention for the upcoming days as 1.48% and 2.65% respectively of their circulating supply will be unlocked. Moving on to fundraising. Fundraising has completely been the opposite of the market correction as the month of April continued the trend of March with 1.09 billion raised in 168 funding rounds. So the highest raise came from Securitize, which is a digital asset securities firm that facilitates access to alternative investments for shareholders, and they assist companies in raising capital and managing shareholders. So backers of Securitize include BlackRock, Aptos, and Circle. For the last portion of our market overview, I'm giving you three significant news that happened in the past couple of days. First is the announcement of the Eigen token. So the Eigen token, it is one of the most anticipated drops for the year. And Eigenlayer allocated 15% of the Eigen tokens over multiple seasons to ecosystem participants. However, there's a catch as several guidelines was also provided in which the community was disappointed. So the first one being 5% of the token supply will be airdropped to users, and it was based on a snapshot that was taken way back March 15. And on another one is as the claims begin, the tokens would remain non-transferable for months, and they are saying that this would be to allow them to have an ample time for decentralization. Third is engaging in trading and creation of derivatives base of the non-transferable eigen token will also have an impact on the eligibility of future stake drop seasons. So again, since 15% of the 15%, only 5% is allocated for the first season. And then the Eigenlayer airdrops excludes takers from the countries of US, Canada, China, and many other African, Asian countries, and even those that are using VPN through this who are in this region. So myself is included in the one that was excluded in the airdrop. Next news is the on April 30, we saw the launching of the BTC and ETH ETFs in Hong Kong. There were three ETFs that began trading for both BTC and ETH. With the first day, the total turnover for the six ETFs was about 112 million, which was far below the 4.6 billion recorded in the first day of the US ETFs. Though, as per Hashkey Group, the expectation for the Hong Kong ETFs is to reach 20% of the US ETFs size for the next couple of months. And then lastly, the build on Bitcoin launched yesterday with a 300 million in total value lock. and over 40 dApps is already available. So just to provide a brief background on what Build on Bitcoin is, it is a hybrid layer 2 platform that merges Bitcoin security with Ethereum's EVM flexibility, and it is powered by by Optimism's OP stack. So the design of BOB is its execution of transactions are made on the rollup chain, in which it's then settled on the Bitcoin network. So as per Build on Bitcoin's announcement, the mainnet will be supporting assets such as the BTC network native assets like ordinals, runes, and BRC assets. And they would also bring in the Ethereum DeFi assets of Ethereum, Wrap ETH, DAI, USDC, USDT, and many more native ETH assets. And that ends my market overview for the week, and I hope I was able to provide value to you guys. Back to you, Slava.
Yeah, it was a nice presentation from you, Steph. It was nice to hear in. Also, feel free to share your questions, chats in the chats. We'll be looking and answering them later after all presentations. And I think I will jump into my presentation regarding base ecosystem guide. So let's take a look at it. Overall, I think many of you have already heard about Base blockchain. So Base is layer 2 solution which was developed by Coinbase, and it was developed in uh, coordination with a team from Optimism. So it utilizes its Optimism stack as a base solution. And right now, it has hundreds of decentralized applications launched. On top of it, really, it's soaring in activity right now. And after the Duncan update, Base has, I think, one of the lowest ecosystems fees. I think average fee on a their own blockchain is around 1 or 2 cents. It's really cheap. It's really fast and convenient to use right now. And regarding its incubation by Coinbase, it was at first it was developed internally, but with every update and following some technical solutions, Base will move forward to decentralization. So at first it started like a solution where Coinbase could develop and launch their products, their blockchain products, but right now it's starting to move on their own. So they became independent from the start, and overall they showing great traction in which we will cover partly what is it currently. So at this moment they had they have raised over $600 million. There is no direct figure because right now we don't know how much supports capital was provided by Coinbase, but Coinbase is their strongest backer. And it has a basic ecosystem fund was launched by Base team already, and they are actively deploying capital and developing the ecosystem. And there is a number of, I think, majority of solutions which we will be covering today are somehow backed by Base ecosystem fund or Base itself. So Base is very active in the ecosystem, and they trying hard to keep it active and alive. So and I think they're succeeding in it because there is some stats from it's just fresh stats right now. What we can see, I think the highest metric and I think the most mind breaking is that right now Base is top one layer 2 by activity. They have the highest number of transactions per second across all layer 2s. And in comparison, right now, they had around yesterday, they had around 27 transactions per second on average. Comparing it to the second place is Arbitrum is 20 transactions per second. Ethereum is Ethereum mainnet itself is only 13 transactions per second. and also the casing is after the Ethereum mainnet is 11 transactions per second. All others are have lower transactions count, and a base is holding its place tight. Right now they have around 80 million addresses already on the platform, high number of active wallets daily. So the average number is around 300,000 active wallets daily. So Base is showing great activity on their platform with the products which they launch. And I think we can go uh, into covering the Base ecosystem overall. So the Base itself is layer 2 on Ethereum. So I would recommend to take a look at our EVM ecosystem guide before to understand how you can easily navigate. But also Base itself, you can easily navigate Base by their own solutions. They have wallets developed for so by Coinbase to use Base primarily, and they have a number of solutions which were developed by Base team in order to use the Base ecosystem properly. So basically, they are somehow independent in this regard. However, starting from bridges, so the key bridging solutions which implemented on Base already is Wormhole. Wormhole has Base blockchain as one of full integrated chains. So Base is fully connected through all Wormhole applications, and I think it's one of the biggest infrastructure provider on Base currently in terms of cross-chain infrastructure. And it's many of you have heard probably about Wormhole airdrop, which happened some time ago, and it's still active project. So it offers it's right now one of leading cross-chain solutions, which facilitates the transfer of assets and data between blockchain ecosystems. Another bridge which you can use in order to bridge originally to Base is, of course, Target from Layer 0. And it's, I think, majority of us have heard about it, about Layer 0 itself. So it's a solution which was developed by Layer 0 team itself. So it was their first product. They have their own token for a long time already. And I think they have right now one of the broadest numbers of chains and assets supported already. So also great tool to use in total. And with Duncan update, it became cheaper. So right now, I think the average transaction cost is around 50 cents on low gas. So it's also great to understand. Of course, you can use an official bridge, which from Base. It was developed solely for a purpose to bridge assets from Ethereum to Base. So there is only certain assets present. So it's USDC and Ethereum. Not a lot of assets, but it's official bridge, which is backed fully by Base blockchain, and they basically ones who stand behind it. Another bridge, which is also very popular in the space, is Reno Finance, where you can bridge also through layer 2 ecosystems easily. And right now, it offers a stable transaction cost with fixed fee per transaction and some percentage from the volume which you bridge. So it's really stable in this matter, and I prefer using Greenify with higher gas, just because you know that they have the fixed rates and you can easily use it when the gas, and you need to bridge some funds when the gas is high. And the last bridging solution is Merkley, a rather interesting one. It's also powered by Layer 0, but it was developed by other team. They're using a Layer 0 solution there. So it allows to bridge assets and bridge NFTs through Layer 2 ecosystems. It's a really interesting solution. So basically, you can bridge not only just traditional assets on like on Stargate, but also you can bridge some NFTs, another type of assets which are available. So it's also a unique solution, and is, I think, popular on layer 0 in layer 0 ecosystem itself. It offers cheap transactions and great experience of using. Going to DeFi, we will cover a couple of projects which are already known, as Uniswap, for instance, the first one. I think everybody have heard about them enough, so just will briefly cover. They support a majority of layer 2s where you can easily bridge, not bridge, but swap different assets. They usually offer the stable way to bridge assets because on majority of layer 2 ecosystems they have the highest TVL with possibility to provide seamless seamless swaps. That's why it's included here, because it's usually a convenient way to bridge, not to bridge, but to swap the assets. Another solution which was at first developed by Base team, it's originally, but then they became more independent, is Base Swap. So it was one of the first dexes on Base chain, and it was crafted by Base team. And they have, I think, all needed tools in DeFi right now. So you can provide liquidity, you can swap through a number of assets with low transactions. Overall, on Base, we have sometimes it's almost free transactions. It can be close to like $0 in total. So really great place to use it. And also, I think we haven't covered it in any other guide, but it's present on many ecosystems. It's Aave. So the main idea and niche where the Aave is used. So it's open source protocol which used for non-custodial liquidity markets and basically to supply and borrow assets. So it's lending. However, they also have so main primary focus of assets which they have, it's stable coins. So I think biggest stablecoin pools are on Aave partly and on Curve. So it's like solutions which basically supports partly like USDT, and we have some USDC mainly, and sometimes we have DPEX, and it's usually due to some liquidity outflows or inflows on such platforms. So it's like the most convenient way to receive some stable coins there, basically, but that's what they've been created for. And the last one is only base multi-chain yield optimizer. So it's an interesting solution. They offer the possibility to basically provide your assets in lending or borrow them as well. So or to put them in yield pools to receive APIs. So they have a number of chains right now integrated, and they have already launched token as well. And basically, they're trying to combine multi-chain liquidity there. It's still fragmented, but still an interesting solution, which also available on Base. But I think the most interesting, personally for me, types of applications which are already available and actively used on Base, it's applications like it's social applications, and I think the biggest one and most actively growing is Farcaster. So Farcaster itself, it's a protocol, it's social protocol which can be used to build social products, and there is a built application already. Warpcast is really close to Twitter, I believe, with some with some nodes from Instagram, for instance, and it's really convenient to use. It's a great tool. I also using it from time to time, and a lot of Web3 people are present there. Also, there is a lot of possibilities to mint some exclusive NFTs, etc. So a great, I think, platform in Web3 with a great approach. Forecaster itself is backed by Coinbase ecosystem funds, Base ecosystem fund. They raised around $30 million back in the day. I think it was like the first half of 2023, and recently they have allowed Warpcast. So on Warpcast you have the system of warps. So basically you can buy them, and you can reward creators which you like in simple way. Also, you can receive warps when you invite new people, so it's like type of social currency which you will have it. There, it's not traded, so it's basically just for a purpose of rewarding your creators. But still, it's a great platform with great experience, with a lot of people already present there, and it's still growing. And I think the basic system is the best place for such platform. Another also platform which some of you have heard before is Friendtech. So they are building, I think, a platform close to Patreon. They already built it. It was launched, and basically, uh, the creators are able to sell their uh, basically token gated chats or channels through the keys. So basically, you need to subscribe to creator who is interesting for you, and then you can receive a content from them. That's basically the idea, and also these accesses can be traded, so creators can have only limited number of accesses, and sometimes you will need to trade for them. And platform was had a very I think big launch back in the day, but right now it's less active. But still, it's a great example of platform, social platform being launched on Base. And yeah, I think that's some brief introduction in unique platforms on Base. Also, a great tool to monitor everything on Base. They have a great blockchain explorer called Base Block Scout, where you can easily see gas fees, wallet addresses, all the statistics data. It's there. Also, you can see some statistics on your wallet. So it's also, you can just connect it and see it. So it's a great tool to use it. I think it's one of maybe best blockchain explorers I have seen comparing to other blockchains. A lot of data is there. It's really easy to use. Also, yeah, as I said, you can see it here that the gas is really low, and it's an average gas, I believe, for Base. It was a high, like I think in the beginning of the year, as for many chains, it was really high. But after the Duncan update on Ethereum, uh, it just became almost free. So basically, you need to have some, at least some assets, at least a bit of Ethereum in order to have like 100 transaction worth of gas. So yeah, overall, Base, it's a great ecosystem which is rapidly growing. And the most interesting feature also about it right now, so many ecosystems, as we know, have already launched their token layer 2s or will launch it, and we have somehow confirmation of it. So, for instance, Optimism, which is the base of the base, has already launched the token, Arbitrum and others, but Base, so they try to go from it. So right now, like, there is no official confirmation that the Base will launch token, and no one knows whether they will do it. However, and also majority of activity which we see on such platforms are generated from retro droppers who are interested just to have some activity in order to receive a retro drop in results. But with Base, we haven't seen a slightest confirmation about the token. On opposite, we've seen a lot of replies from the teams that probably they won't have any token, but still there is like no sure answer at this point. But still, as I shown to you, the Base is the most active chain currently, the most actively growing, with more than 300,000 active users. And I think they might have token. No one knows, basically. But there is some concerns why I think they don't have it due to legal reasons and their registration in the US. So basically, Coinbase itself is a US company. That's why I think they will like leave Base as representatives, and then Base will build their own future without Coinbase. They will be still supported, but I think they will go to this decentralization at some point, and they will need to have a token. So really interesting ecosystem to monitor, to use with number of great products. Also, haven't it wasn't mentioned here, but platforms like Dora with and ecosystems like Dora, for instance, itself, it's more focused on NFTs, but there are a lot of NFTs being sold, for instance, on Warpcasts. Like you see a lot of pop-ups that you can buy them, and it's a great way to monitor a lot of other ecosystems as well. So there is a number of great tools on Base which can be used. And I think that's it from my side. We can return to questions. So please feel free to ask any questions which you have to me or Steph regarding the market situation. Maybe any thoughts to be shared or about the base. We are here to answer. But yeah, I think that's mainly it from our side. And let's maybe wait a couple of minutes for question stuff.
Sure, sure. Are there no questions? Let me
Also,
check.
also, Steph, what do you think about the base? Have you experienced using it? Like, what is your experience? Maybe what
Yes.
are the most exciting products on base? Which are you looking at?
Well, actually, I'm using Base just to do some bridging stuffs. So I'm actually using Merkly to bridge from Arbitrum to Base. But to be honest, I'm really interested on the airdrops opportunity for tokenless protocols on Base.
Yes, that's also. So I can say that I'm partly interested to see how the token situation with base itself will
Hmm.
develop. So we can say that base itself it's tokenless project currently. So it's
Yes, agree.
maybe an interesting possibility there.
You made a
And
great point in telling that Base would eventually promote decentralization. So most likely, Base would have a token.
yeah,
Though,
that's
yes.
an idea. I think. Yeah, I believe they don't have a token just as I said due to legal reasons. I think SEC will quickly come to them and say, "Hey, it's not really the best token," and probably will put it as a security. And I think Coinbase try to avoid it because everyone will mark the base token as Coinbase token. And
Yes,
that
agree.
will be an idea, but that's why I think Coinbase want to leave base. I think they have some portion, of course, of maybe we will have some of supply, but I think they want to leave it to have a possibility to launch, or they are waiting for some regulatory updates in the US.
Yep.
I think that's
Hopefully, we
also
see some regulatory clarity here.
yeah, that's true because there are some questions to be asked. I think everybody tries to move in this direction, but the US is really interesting in this point. However, it's still adopted there, so they're trying to regulate it on the highest level, and not like China, for instance. China have really interesting stance. And in Hong Kong, they allow
Hmm.
ETF to be sold and traded, but in the mainland China, you cannot own any crypto. So really interesting to see how it's developing in the world.
Okay, so I think there's no questions, Lava.
Yeah, I see there is no questions, so I think we will be wrapping up our market
Hmm.
research. Thanks everyone for joining. Uh, we'll be sharing, I think, the materials a bit later, and was pleasure to present. See you on the next market research in 2 weeks, and have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.